Well, hey everybody. Welcome to this week's new comic video for all the upcoming releases for tomorrow. I'm Jeremy, and holding the camera is Cassandra. And we're going to start in the A's with Absolute Batman 22. Latest issue of everyone's favorite craziness. This week delves into the origin of Absolute Harley Quinn. And hang out for that last page twist. It gets crazy. Multiple covers, and of course, like always, if there's any of these special covers or books that you want set aside or added to your subscription, just let us know with your full name on the response to the video, and we'll be happy to set them aside. That means you too, Rudy. And we have multiple covers for Absolute Batman, and this leads us into the next book of the week once we're finished with covers A, B, C, and D. We move on to Absolute Catwoman. Still early on in the story here, but we get to see the first team that Selina assembled and how horrible their crime goes awry. Multiple covers on this one as well. This book continues to be sort of like the sleeper spin-off of Batman. It is awesome. Make sure you start reading it early or you're going to be hunting for these issues later on.
Quick.
Yeah.
So cover B, cover C, cover D, cover E. Okay.
Cool. So we have a couple of new books this week. First up is going to be the new Disney Aladdin. Welcome to Agrabah. Your wish is our command in this new series, starring everyone's favorite diamond in the rough, Aladdin. Life is good these days for the former street rat. He's with his love, Jasmine. He's got his buddies Abu and Carpet. And Genie is free to do whatever it is that Genie wants to do. But trouble always seems to pop up around Aladdin, and he'll need the help of everyone he loves to save himself and the city of Agrabah. So this is the first issue, and we have multiple issues, multiple covers. Cover A is going to have everybody. Then we have the romance cover with cover B. Everyone's favorite bad guy, Jafar, with cover C. A cover that Robin Williams would have been guaranteed to dislike, with Genie taking up the entire thing. Sketch cover and Virgin Genie variant. We next have the latest spinoff in the John Carter Warlord of Mars family of books that Dynamite puts out. Good, TNA swashbuckling sword and sandals on Mars. We got some Amazing Spider-Man reprints of the first appearance of the Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man 129, back when he was a villain instead of a complicated anti-hero. Personally, I still think he works best as a bad guy. This week, Archie Comics prints the Betty and Veronica swimsuit special. We're back with another collector's item starring America's favorite BFFs, Betty and Veronica. Hit the beach with this special collection of some of the best and most eye-catching Betty and Veronica swimsuit images, pinups, fashion pages, and one-page comics, collected for the first time in a normal comic size format. So this book is going to be taking place throughout the history of Dan DeCarlo's good girl pinup style. A lot of 50s style, classic Archie, going into the 70s and even today. Not the only all ages friendly book. The next book we have this week is going to be Baby Garfield. A book that is surprisingly cute. Lifelong Garfield fan. The current series is a bit of a departure, but anyone who likes lasagna and hates Mondays would probably get a kick out of it. We have a couple different covers on Baby Garfield. Next up will be Barbara Gordon. She is still in the pokey, having been arrested as a way to get to Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne. The normal Barbara Gordon adventures that we're used to are replaced by Barbara Gordon in prison. Um, especially if you ever read John Ostrander's take on the character when she first became Oracle. This really has a vibe similar to that. Barbara Gordon is more than just a costumed vigilante, and this miniseries is doing a good job of showing some of those facets to her character that we don't see as much. A couple different covers on that book. Right now, all the Bat books have been very strong. I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Next up, we've got some reprints before the regular issue of New Ben 10, but issue 1 got a new printing with a new cover. Then we have the premium bagged special version of the book. Now, Cassandra, did you ever follow the Ben 10 cartoon back in the day?
Not really. It's more I always caught the end of it while I was waiting for my other shows to come on.
I can dig it. Yeah, it was a little bit after my time. I watched it. I thought it was cool, but I could already legally drive and drink, just not at the same time. So yeah, I was a little outside the age bracket for it, but I'm glad that they're putting them out. So we had a bunch of different covers for Ben 10. That's cover A, and then various other characters are spotlighted.
I think some of these are also incentives. I'll have to look to make sure. But for all the new people who are viewing right now, just remember incentive comics cannot be pulled. They will go into our auction wall where they will be auctioned on.
Yeah, so when you are participating in one of the silent auctions for the incentive covers, it's a very simple process. The bidding is just on a clipboard. So you find the comic you're interested in, say, I bid $5 for this cover. You write it down, and if you have the highest bid, we'll contact you and you won. If somebody sees that you bid $5 and they bid $5.50, well, they're going to win. And yeah.
But luckily, though, we don't do cent amounts. It's always to the nearest dollar.
Yeah.
So either way, biggest number wins.
Yes. Bleeding Hearts from the relaunched Vertigo. Issue 6 is going to wrap up this first arc here. I was cautiously optimistic about the new Vertigo launch. So far, everything has been pretty good, with the new 100 Bullets being a definite, strong contender for their best title. But we have a couple different covers on this. Same book on the inside. It's not the sort of thing that you could jump into with issue 6, but definitely pick up the trade paperback when it comes out soon. Same with Blood and Thunder. I have not had a chance to read this book here yet. B.O. Wolf, #1. And we actually don't have a paper for this one.
If I remember correctly, I think it's the thing off of Beowulf.
Yes, you're now that I open it and look at it, you're 100% right. Yeah. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about this one?
I would love to. I don't, for the life of me though, I can't remember the name of the monster. But
Grendel.
Grendel, yes. Okay. So basically, this is from Grendel's point of view of the events leading into the main event of Beowulf, pretty much. It's basically what led up to his attack.
Okay, that's cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. I am a big old monster fan. Now, a book I am reading is Black Cat. So Frank Castle is very stupid. And for
sorry, that was loud.
well, for somebody like Felisa, yeah, she's very able to manipulate stupid men like Frank Castle most of the time. The problem is that 20% of the time where it doesn't work out, and that's what this issue is all about. Couple different covers on that one. The latest volume of Cal Exit started this week. This is, I believe, the third Cal Exit miniseries they've done. The incendiary saga of California's war with America continues. Democracy is fraying, culture is under siege, and freedom hangs in the balance as wartime smuggler Jamil and Mulholland resistance fighter Zora find themselves at the crossroads of history, while the cultural crossroads of the world burns around them. Has America gone too far? Will California be able to defend its citizens? Is it all over for Hollywood? Sometimes you just have to take a stand. So this book, much like that recent Civil War movie, is dramatizing a war between the states that feels altogether too real right now. Not really my jam, but I'm glad it's out there for folks who dig it.
We got our first comment of the day from Rudy.
Hey, Rudy.
Hey, Rudy. He says, wow, Frank Castle is stupid, lol.
Well, I mean, Rudy, you've read a bunch of comics. You know what Frank Castle is like. You know, he's very good at murdering people, but you know he didn't do well in the SATs. So we got a bunch of Cal Exits, a couple different covers on that one.
Not the Netflix logo. Okay.
Reprints of Civil War. Now comes the book that I'm actually really psyched for. I think it's going to be Maxime's pick of the week, the new Clayface miniseries. Before he was Clayface, Basil Karlo was one of the hottest actors in Hollywood. As he breaks out of Arkham once again, he's ready to stage his comeback. But there's just one problem. Someone already beat him to it. And Basil Karlo is already a massive star. But if that's true, what's next for the real Basil? And what does his predicament have to do with the young women disappearing in Los Angeles? And a new health supplement causing hideous transformations in its users. Acclaimed horror writer Jude Ellison S. Doyle and rising star Fran Galan join forces for a bold new miniseries that's equal parts body horror and Hollywood glamour. So the new Clayface book is going to be full of horrifying Cronenbergian body horror, making everyone prepared for the upcoming movie. And I can't wait. Clayface is a fantastic villain that they can do a lot of fun stuff with. And there's a couple different covers for it. This one that's in the style of an old movie poster is probably my favorite.
Which is actually a request by Dominic Lacuna. So Dominic, we got that for you.
Cool.
And then Rudy would also like to see Black Cat cover B one more time. And then, yeah, he also wants that one. So I'll go ahead and grab that one for him too.
Got it, Rudy.
So Dominic and Rudy, we got those pulls for you. And they will be in your sub boxes.
Then we got the latest Conan. So I prefer a Conan that's more low fantasy than this current miniseries. This one's a little bit more D&D than I want out of Conan, but it's rad. And as a fantasy nerd, you know, I'm a Conan reader for sure. A couple different covers on it, but it's Conan that doesn't feel like Robert E. Howard Conan. If that's a deal breaker, I understand, but it still is a fun fantasy book, even if it doesn't have the sort of grim and grittiness that Robert E. Howard normally has.
While I'm coming over here, we have Erwin Hernandez. He's asking for Absolute Batman 22 cover D and Absolute Catwoman number 2 cover D.
So this one and the 2 B, C.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Erwin, we got those 2 covers for you. I got them right there for you. Boom. Boom. Okay. And we can continue on.
Daredevil is out this week. Daredevil has been really, really cool since the relaunch. Matt Murdock is now working no longer as a lawyer, but as a law professor, still horribly traumatized by his father's career as a boxer, obviously. This is a book that I am saving to read when I get home. Super excited for it. This run of Daredevil has been fantastic. The villain, the Owl, makes a bit of a return here. Interesting trivia note, in X Factor issue 1, they were never supposed to fight Apocalypse. The original villain for the X Factor series was going to be a revamped version of Leland Owlsy, the Owl. They left them all in shadowy silhouette, but then had a creative change on the writing staff. And by the time they revealed who was in the shadow, they made up a new character instead of Owlsley. And that character was Insaban Nor, aka Apocalypse. We have several different covers on Daredevil, including our World Cup variant.
Oh, and Rudy, I got that absolute cover D for you for Batman.
Did you check out Destination Kill? I have not
piqued my fancy.
Yeah, I haven't looked at this one either. Every comic isn't for me. I read a ton of comics. Every comic out there is somebody's favorite comic. So I'm sure somebody is super excited about Generation Kill. I just haven't read it. I am a big fan of the next book, though, Kieran Gillen's Die. This is the current volume where, once again, the party has been forced to leave reality and travel into a fantasy hellscape of their own design. Basically, think of this as an R-rated version of the D&D cartoon, with a bunch of players who got sucked into a game and are unprepared for the results.
Or basically any anime.
Or any anime. Less harems, but you know. Did you hear about Mimi Green?
No, what happened to her?
I was asking because I haven't heard about it.
I'm trying to remember what it said about the summary. It was a hot minute ago when we got issue number 1.
Yeah, this is what I'll be reading, but I don't remember the setup on it off the top of my head. But
I think she's a novelist who's kind of going insane, I think. I'm trying to, I can't remember all of it, but.
Yeah, I will have to do some research because I do not remember that one.
Let's see, we got another comment from Rudy. Oops. Stop it. No, let me sit. I tapped it by accident. Okay. It says Walt and Louise Simpson changed the character back in the 90s for X Factor. You right, Jeremy.
Hell yeah. Much like me, you're 1,000 years old, so you remember buying that off the shelf, Rudy. The next comic we have is Dingo Goliath #1. From the twisted minds of rising superstar artist and creative visionary Manic Sabrera from Thundercats, New York Times best-selling writer Robert Venditti, and acclaimed indie horror director Brockton McKinney from Reptchild, comes the first terrifying tale in a groundbreaking all-new horror universe. Prepare to encounter the most nightmarish creatures ever dreamed up for the comic book page, if you dare enter the Mannix Monsterverse. So, I'm sure that this will be successful. It's always good to plan an entire universe of interrelated series before the first one even launches. That's not sarcasm at all. The plot is that an elite team of officers tasked with the taking down of a local drug kingpin are prepared to do whatever it takes to take down their target, dead or alive. With all available units mobilized to make the bust, it's a small army that knocks down the dealer's door, ready to get their man. But it's not a man that waits for them on the other side, but man's best friend. Weapons won't save them. They can only hope to God their prayers might. The night Dingo Goliath comes to town. So,
Okay.
yeah. Comics are awesome. especially when they're terrible.
Let's see. Did y'all get any Ben 10 number 3 in? Looking to get cover M and A. Yeah, we got Ben 10 number 3, Erwin, sorry. We can get you cover A. Let me see if we have any cover M real quick.
There were a bunch of different ones on that one. It's hard to keep track of which one is which.
J L K I don't know if we got cover M.
I don't remember seeing an M on the invoice, but
I don't think we got cover M. If we did get cover M, it was probably an incentive.
Why don't we pass the camera back over Ben 10 one last time and see if there's any variants that you'd like us to set aside.
So I'll start with the blind bags. I'm just going to pan over the covers one more time. The blind bag, cover A and B. Let's see. D, E, and so on and so forth, and going on forever. Okay. But yeah, if you see any covers after that pans, let us know. But until then, I believe that's that. Okay.
So next up is going to be Dispatched. That's another new number 1 from Bad Idea Comics, Ignition Press, I believe. Ignition Press, yeah. B. Clay Moore is writing it. He used to do a book called Hawaiian Dick, if you ever read that. The gimmick is MacGyver meets Die Hard in this life or death unboxing. Estranged from his family and living under a government-issued alias, ex-Black Ops agent Morgan Power endures a life in suburban exile as a delivery driver for a major global courier company. You know, like UPS. And you can't spell stupid without UPS. It's a 180 from his action-packed classified work abroad until a routine shift puts him in the crosshairs of a domestic terrorist organization. Trapped in the parking garage of a besieged corporate office park, Power goes back to basics with nothing but his survival skills and a delivery van of unopened packages. So it's going to be mindless action, but it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to reading this book. The artist on it, Daniel Gett, did a book called Skin Police. So if you read that, it's visually, it's cool, but it seems like a little bit of a departure from their previous work. There's 2 different covers on it. They're both rad. Then we have a black and white reprint of the awesome Do a Powerbomb. Before Transformers started up, this was the book that kind of put Daniel Warren Johnson on the map as a creator. I'm a huge professional wrestling nerd, as everyone knows. In the universe of Do a Powerbomb, wrestling on Earth is carny and fake, like we all know it is. But everywhere else in the universe, wrestling is very real. It's a cosmic kumite where people battle for power. And our hero is having to compete against people who are used to it being real when she's used to it being all fake and make-believe. But it's a little bit beyond that. You see, Lona's mother was a huge professional wrestling superstar who died in the ring. And it's been her dream to follow in her mother's footsteps. No one would train her. They all felt terrible about what happened to her mother. And so a lot of the book is her trying to prove herself to an industry that wants nothing to do with her, while at the same time teaming up with her new tag team partner to battle like cosmic professional wrestlers. It's got something for everybody. It's better than Cats.
2019?
Yes. Then we have the next Doctor Who miniseries.
Sorry about that. One sec.
Sure.
Vince Campos, he said one of each A and B, please. You're talking about Do a Powerbomb, correct? Because there's 3. Just in case you're curious. There's cover A, cover B, cover C. Let me know if that's what you want. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So Doctor Who Circuit Breaker #1 is the Daleks in ancient Greece. I always love Doctor Who stories that take advantage of the fact that you can set the story at any time in history. It doesn't have to be the exact month that it is right now in a quarry someplace, in Wales. Um, Anytime they set a story in ancient Rome or in Greece, it can be medieval times. Like there's a Marco Polo story arc that was fantastic way back in the 60s. So anytime we deal with real history, yeah, it's real history with Daleks, but it's still fun.
And real quick for jump on that, it was Absolute Batman. So Vince, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of each of the Absolute Batman for you real quick.
Cool.
We got A, we got B, we got C, we got D, we got E, and that's it. All right, got those for you, Vince. And moving on along.
Yeah, we got the next issue of Emperor Aquaman. Aquaman's mother-in-law is awful, and I think a lot of us can relate.
I'm not even married. Never mind. I can't even.
Then we have the spin-off of Exquisite Corpses that gives the origin story for Rascal Randy, the cotton-tailed killer. In the sleepy little town of Aurora Springs, New York, there's exactly one claim to fame. It's the birthplace of Rascal Randy. Not the man in the suit. The man has never mattered. He was no one until he put on the mascot head for the first time, until he felt the life leave someone's body through the thickly furred gloves of his suit. No, Aurora Springs is the birthplace of Rascal Randy the Rabbit, who, once upon a time, was poised to become the greatest animated character this country had ever seen, until greed and tragedy changed his trajectory forever. Now, before the events of Exquisite Corpses in Season 1, witness the final murder spree of this iconic killer as Chaos hops into town with buck teeth bared and ears flopping. And the secret, sordid history of Rascal Randy is finally revealed.
All right. And we move around to the next table.
All right.
On this side.
So we have a few more covers on Rascal Randy and his. I don't guess it's still a fursona if it's like a mascot suit. I don't know the terminology. I feel that there's a different word if it's like a Five Nights at Freddy's situation. Who's to say?
Call it the suit.
Yeah. So this book is a prequel to the popular Exquisite Corpses series that James Tynion writes. This one's not by him, but it fleshes out his universe. Right here, the Fantastic Four Shalabah special. I wish this had come out a year ago. I'm not entirely sure why we're just now getting them, but it's cool. This is a canonical to the Fantastic Four movie origin for that version of Silver Surfer, the Shalabah who makes the deal with Galactus to become his herald. So it's very much, you recognize that Reed Richards. This is the movie cast. But one of the things that both of the major publishers are doing is spending a lot more time on their Elseworlds and the rest of their multiverses. So maybe we might see more stuff set in the Fantastic Four cinematic universe. Who's to say? Another book that, let's just say it has come out a little while after the source material it's based on, is the Fire and Ice miniseries all about Darkwolf. So Fire and Ice, for those that came in late, was an animated movie from the 80s by Frank Frazetta, the guy most notable for all those Conan book covers, but also The Death Dealer, if you ever saw that painting. He teamed up with this guy, Ralph Bakshi, who made a bunch of animated movies. He was a big proponent of rotoscoping, where they would trace the outline of an actor and animate from that. He made a rotoscoped Lord of the Rings back in the 70s, but his Fire and Ice was a super rad fantasy movie. This comic is basically the origin of, well, there's no two ways about it. Dark Wolf is basically fantasy Batman. Um, Now, I don't mean that as a knock. It is super cool, and this book is super violent, like you would hope it would be. But he is fantasy Batman. That everything that you think that means, it means. So a couple different covers on that, and then we move to Flash Gordon. Anyone who has been keeping up with the current Mad Cave series knows that the action has a real Saturday morning serial to it that's been great. They've really captured the vibe of what Flash Gordon is all about.
Rudy's also commented. He said Elseworlds is all about DC right now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But not only are we getting all those DC Elseworlds, but we're seeing a whole bunch of alternate universe books just from everybody. I technically, all of these like kid-friendly books they're putting out, like It's Jeff, the Land Shark, that's not in the mainstream 616 universe. That's its own separate thing where everyone's like friends with each other. And I think that's cool. Every comic doesn't need to fit together like puzzle pieces to be appreciated on their own merits. A book that I appreciated on its own merits for sure, though, was The Fury of Firestorm, issue 4. Lifelong Firestorm fan here.
Cover A. Okay, cover A. Why you talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, forgot about Forged. Okay, so we have Forged and then.
Yeah, Forged. Greg Rucka rules. Fury of Firestorm. We find out that the professor doesn't rule. He, in fact, sucks a great deal. And Lorraine Firehawk is just discovering exactly how she and Ronnie have been manipulated since the 80s. Speaking of the 80s, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. This is the G.I. Joe series in Larry Hama's original continuity, continuing the old G.I. Joe comic from the 80s. Hard to go wrong with a Snake Eyes and Scarlet-centric story. Anytime ninjas show up in G.I. Joe, it's a good time. Moving on to the Green Lantern Corps. This issue here is going to feature virtually every Green Lantern who's not Hal Jordan, wrapping up the big color storyline that's been happening recently. We get a Voltron.
Why does everybody have to have like a Power Rangers Voltron looking thing?
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. I did not read the first issue of Holy Brawl. Did you check that one out?
I meant to. It's definitely looks like something that's right up my alley. I think we still have it on the wall though. So.
Well, cool. We'll have to check that one out. Innards is by Rob Guillory. Mostly famous for Chew. I've got this in my to-be read stack, but I've not had a chance to check this one out yet.
I'm surprised Rob hasn't read it yet.
Oh, it's only a matter of time. Next up, speaking of the fun alternate universe kids books, we have It's Simbi. So Simbi is a little symbiote who is their latest attempt at a cute little Baby Yoda style mascot character. He's a symbiote without a host, but that's never slowed him down. Ever since Spider-Man freed him from a mad scientist's lab, Simbi has made it his mission to unleash mischief across the Marvel Universe. His latest targets? The Fantastic Four, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Marvel Mutts. From Simbi Infinity Comic to Marvel Mutts Infinity Comic and Amazing Spider-Man, see some of Simbi's greatest Marvel moments so far. So this book is going to reprint a bunch of stuff that was previously available as a digital first, but hasn't been seen in print until this time. If you've got a kid who likes Spider-Man, this might be something that they enjoy. So a couple different covers on it. Each one cuter than the last. But that's not the only book of its kind, because we have a new Jeff book. Jeff the Land Shark Superstar, number 1. Jeff has been kidnapped, or I guess shark-napped. Mojo is determined to create the latest hit show and sends the Marvel Universe into an uproar when he kidnaps beloved pet / friend of the heroes, Jeff the Land Shark. So it's a variation on a story we've seen a billion times from the X-Men, but this time Mojo is putting Jeff the Land Shark on television. And I'm sure that it will be silliness nonstop. I have not had a chance to check this out, but I see that Doctor Strange is on the cover, so I am morbidly curious about how Doctor Strange is going to be interacting in this issue. What's your take on the Jeff books, Cassandra?
In all honesty, while they are cute, I just see them as cash grabs for the kids. But
that is definitely a legitimate way.
It's definitely just one of those ones where you read it just to get a chuckle. Hijinks will ensue.
Well, there's a bunch of different covers, depending on whichever one you're into. And we'll finish out the J's with a new independent book from Ignition Press, issue 4 of Just Brutally. I've not read Just Brutal yet, but that is on the pile. Also on the pile is a new monster racing book called M1, the Monster Racing League.
I think this is a reprint.
Yeah.
Oh, Rudy, to answer your question, he asked, isn't Simbi in a cartoon somewhere? I don't think he is yet. Emphasis on yet. But yeah, I think he's just been available for the comic, and then I think this is a couple of crossover with other child cartoons that already exist at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of cartoons, issue 2 of Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command, came out. So, as any 80s kid would remember, they lived in a gas station and drove helicopters that turned into smaller helicopters. Mask was folded into the mainstream G.I. Joe books about 15 years ago when they released the 25th anniversary line of action figures and made a matte tracker with the G.I. Joe carding. This new comic is continuing that, folding the Mask continuity in with all of the Energon universe from G.I. Joe and Transformers. So Miles Mayhem, Matt Tracker, and everybody else are now involved with the quest for Energon, the government mandated team of G.I. Joe, and various and sundry other craziness. Loved the first issue. Curious to see what issue 2 is like.
Got a couple more questions.
Cool.
Let's see. Vince
something?
Campos, you said, Jeff, both rival covers, please. I grabbed one. I grabbed this one. What is the other one you're looking for? I'm gonna pen over them one more time. Covers A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So let me know what's the other one you're looking for.
Or did they need a Simbi cover?
He said Jeff so far. Says Jeff, both rivals covers, please.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the other rival cover is. Rudy asked how much these Jeff Silver comics are. So
that's a good question.
This one, I assume they're probably going to be about $7.99. Give me one sec. I will find out. They are $4.99.
Oh, that's a bargain. You can buy 2 of those, Rudy.
Practically
one
giving
to
them
read,
away.
1 to keep.
And then we have Vince asking for one of each of Mask. So I got you.
Hell yeah.
And then we have, oh, and he says cover East, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. Got you. Okay. Gotcha, Vince. Okay. And that's it. We're caught up.
All right, cool. Then that's going to bring us to Operation Iron Coffin, number 1.
This is going to be my pick of the week.
Oh, awesome. The recently resurrected Dracula, one of the world's greatest monsters and most infamous vampires. Did they need to tell us that Dracula is one of the world's most infamous? I mean,
in case you didn't know, Rudy wants Jeff cover G.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't know Dracula? Anyway,
I like it because it looks like Castlevania.
sweet. I only ever beat the first Castlevania, the NES one, the one where when you beat it, the castle flips upside down, and then you have to fight back through it in reverse.
Yeah.
That sucked.
I've been rewatching the anime for it, and I don't want to. I'm watching season 2, but I don't like season 2. It really wants best could be.
At the time, I was a huge Warren Ellis fan, so I watched it largely for that. There's definitely things I enjoyed in the Castlevania anime.
It's more I'm grieving.
I can dig that. So, yeah, Dracula is hell bent on redemption. And what mission does he take to make that redemption possible? Well, he teams up with the British Allied forces during World War II. They'll airdrop him onto a Nazi train containing a horde of soldiers, augmented villains, and a vampire plague that, if released, will create a new generation of vampire terrors. Dracula will have to battle his way through the train, confronting his past sins and facing off against the wicked Hazel and Ivy, who are calling the shots for the Nazis, and who have a vested interest in Dracula's failures. So, Dracula fighting Nazis, what's not to love?
Why is everybody fighting Nazis?
Well, you're supposed to fight
Odin.
Nazis.
We have Odin, now we have Dracula.
I mean, yeah, Nazis are the bad guys. If you see a Nazi, kill him. You know, if even Dracula knows that you're supposed to fight Nazis, everyone knows. Then we have The Order, issue 2.
Oh, okay.
Did you check out that one at all?
No, I think I missed number 1 somehow.
Well, it covers rad. Also with pretty rad covers this week is Pimp Killer. So Pimp Killer is clearly a comic by fans of Pam Grier, who have seen a bunch of other movies too and want you to know about that. The variant cover B obviously is very Fight Club coded.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, we don't talk about Fight Club. That is the first rule. So we'll move on then to the Rocketeer Infiltrator. It's the height of World War II. Dracula is on a train, and Betty is a Nazi collaborator, or so we're led to believe. As Allied planes mysteriously explode in midair above Europe, rumors of a Nazi superweapon compel the U.S. to send its fastest asset overseas. The Rocketeer, with Betty posing as a defecting American actress in a German motion picture. Cliff Secord, aka the Rocketeer, accompanies her as her brother and manager. Ew. And since neither has any experience for deep cover work, the Allies send a handler to support them, a debonair MI6 agent who assumes the role of Betty's co-star. So if you want to see the Rocketeer basically team up with James Bond to fight Nazis, that's what the Infiltrator is all about. I think it's gonna be rad.
Rudy disagrees. He says Pam Grier, really?
Oh, Pam Grier's a goddess, dude. We're not even gonna talk about Coffee or Foxy Brown. I mean, you just the woman's actually, in addition to just being gorgeous, she's a great actor and a huge animal conservationist. I actually follow her online for all of her dog rescues. But yeah, Pam Grier rules. She used to be married to Richard Pryor, and the fact that she survived that means she's a badass that can do anything. So, speaking of, there's another cover of Rocketeer. Then we have the latest issue of Zoe Tunnell's Seven Wives.
I forgot about that one.
A Mormon sister wives murder mystery. If you're any kind of a true crime fan, there's definitely going to be stuff that appeals to you in this book.
It's so good.
Yeah. Loved the first issue. Can't wait to see what happens in issue 2. I did not read the first issue of Showdown. Did you check that one out?
No, it looked weird to me.
Then we'll move on to Sonic the Hedgehog. So this is the 35th anniversary special.
Happy birthday, Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic, Tails, and Amy are stopping by Angel Island for a sunny day to visit Knuckles when a meteor strike from the sky crash lands before them, and they investigate the crash, and craziness ensues.
I'm surprised there's no Nazis.
Well, we won't flip past the staple. There might be Nazis. I think Sonic could beat up a Nazi. How fast do those guys go?
According to Call of Duty Zombies, pretty fast.
Oh.
Of course.
Then we have Sorcerer Supreme. For those of you who have been away for a little while, Orlando has been telling a long-form story where Wanda is currently the Sorcerer Supreme, and she's doing all the crazy, like, cosmic Ditko stuff that Doctor Strange used to do. It's fun seeing Wanda do something beyond imagining having kids. As great as that story was, it's been decades. Let's do something new. And this is something definitely new. New Speed Racer came out.
Yeah, a couple covers of the Sorcerer Supreme real quick. And then, yeah, Speed Racer. Boom.
Then we have a great sci-fi romance by Mark Miller, the creator of books like Kick-Ass and
Everyone wants one copy of Sonic, so then
oh, cool.
Get that while you talk about the Starcross.
Yeah. So Starcrossed is the two greatest thieves in the universe have a price on their head, and every single bounty hunter is out to collect it. This is going to read a lot like a movie because I'm sure that Miller has plans on developing it into something, whether it's a Netflix thing or a movie, but it is a queer romance sci-fi action book. There's got to be something cool, with a book that checks off all those dots. Continuing the sci-fi vibe, we've got the latest Star Wars prequel. This wraps up the prequel to The Shadow of Maul, which was a fantastic miniseries on Disney Plus. If you're into crime dramas, that's basically what this is. One of our customers described it as like the movie Heat, but with instead of Pacino and De Niro, it's Darth Maul and that dude. So we have a couple different covers on Darth Maul. The latest issue of the High Republic Adventures. More weirdness I didn't read. Did you check this one out?
But the art style was weird. And I know you're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but I was definitely judging a book by its cover.
That's the best way to judge a book. It tells you what the title is, who wrote it, what the book's about, maybe a picture from the book. There's no better way to judge a book than its cover.
And Dominique, I got that cover A for you of Shadow of Maul. Shadow of Maul, yeah. Dominique Lacuna. Okay.
So I'm going to show a variant cover to Rudy right now. You might recognize this Creepshow cover for the McFarlane Spider-Man pose that it's based on. I definitely can imagine you enjoying that cover. The contents of the book is cool too. You're basically having screwed up, horrifying superhero stories in the Creepshow style and universe.
Oh, it's a reprint. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, they already did that story.
Yeah, but that cover particularly, it's a McFarlane cover pastiche, so it's kind of cool. Latest issue of Supergirl came out. Kara's new frenemy is escaping from the bottle city of Kandor, and only she can stop it. Classic superhero stuff.
Homage cover off Spider-Man. Oh, yeah, that was Rudy's response to that. It was homage cover of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Then we got Thundercats versus Silverhawks. This issue is going to be Panthro facing off with Bluegrass. I think Bluegrass is toast. I mean, in a battle of nunchucks versus a guitar, the nunchucks are going to win.
I got one request from Dominic. He would like to see the Jeff Superstar covers one more time. So I'm just gonna pan over those real quick.
Sweet.
Starting with cover A. Do you mind grabbing Supergirl cover C for Rudy, please?
Absolutely.
All right, Dominique, we got cover A, cover B, cover C, cover D, cover E, cover F, cover G, and 1 in 25 incentive. So, woohoo. Let us know if any of those intrigued you. Jumping back into it.
Twilight Zone. Have you read any of this volume of Twilight Zone?
I used to watch a TV show, but I haven't read any of the Twilight Zone yet. And Dominique would like Jeff C. or Jeff covers C.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to hook them up.
Wow. If there's someone who does read a lot of Twilight Zone, it would be on this. That's like his go-to right now.
Yeah. Tyler Rake, an extraction story. Then we have the latest issue of Transformers.
With the weird guy that looks kind of like the Doc from
Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He does very much have that vibe. The Autobots are attempting to work with the government. You know, I've seen a lot of rad things in this comic, but a minivan that turns into a robot with a flaming sword, that's pretty cool.
I like to think that paint jobs on cars are like tattoos for Transformers. So
Oh,
any of those
absolutely,
vans
yeah.
that have like a unicorn with like a rainbow and flames and stuff was definitely going to have like.
So,
crazy
like
flair.
Optimus Prime would have a tramp stamp that is like, student driver, or like ask me about my kids. I can dig it.
I was going to say Doc Marley from Mega Man.
Latest issue of
yeah.
Uncanny X-Men.
Dominique is always right. He said, or also not always. He also said that he looks like Doc Wily from Mega Man.
Yeah, I can see that too.
So yeah, let me get those. C, D, and then yeah, Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, Gail Simone is embracing her cheesy 50s sci-fi with this issue. Can't go wrong with that.
Rudy also says Dr. Arsegal from the TV series after Starscream made him half cyborg. Oh.
Fair enough. Believe it or not, the third and final issue of White Boat came out about 2 years late. Scott Snyder's D-Listery horror series was fantastic. Graphic novel. But strong recommend for the book. Something that's starting with a new #1, though, from Boom, is Vampirates. Through the darkness of 1,000-year eclipse, they sail, seeking adventure, treasure, and blood. In a world ruled by vampires, Empress Nyra of the Night Isles has always
Hello, hello. Okay. I'm getting some type of read. Let us know if you can hear us. Give it a couple of seconds. Let's see if somebody can hear us in the comments. Sound off in the comments if you can hear us. Let us know. Let us know. Check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. If not, I want to keep playing with the audio until it works.
Well, we can close out the video just like shooting it, if you want to just.
Okay, cool. Ready so we can hear us.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Okay, sweet.
So anyway, Witness Point, this little town has been a dumping ground for people in witness relocation programs, and you don't know who you can trust, who's a murderer, who's like under an assumed name. It's going to be like a real like conspiracy-driven paranoia comic. Cool first issue. Looking forward to seeing what happens next. Saladin Ahmed continues his Wolverine run, going up against Taskmaster. Wolverine, as usual, has lost his healing factor because you've got to find some way to make it plausible someone could beat him in a fight. Well, Taskmaster has the skills of everybody on the planet, so if anyone can beat Wolverine, it's going to be Taskmaster. Issue 2 of X-Men 97 came out. The new season of this just started on Disney Plus. We're getting a very Cable and Bishop-centric redux of Age of Apocalypse, and the comics are continuing in that vein. I actually really like this X-Force team of Cable, Sunspot, Jubilee, Archangel, and Psylocke. It works better than you would expect. So a couple different covers on that, and then we're going to have the last single issue new book with Zorro's Legacy. It's an all new, all different Zorro. Fan favorite writer Dan Abnett, who's done a whole mess of Warhammer books. I know him from Legion of Superheroes. What would you do if you find out that your family's legacy is tied to one of the greatest heroes of all time? Well, David De La Vega discovers that he is a descendant of this original Zorro, and he begins a quest in the modern day to live up to those heroic roots. So it's reframing the struggle that Zorro has in modern day. Love Zorro. This could be really cool. We'll check it out. Aaron Lopresti's art is always cool, so it's a cool first issue.
Okay, so Zorro, if he was a superhero. Got it.
Well, Zorro was really the first superhero. You wouldn't have Batman without Zorro, not just because they stole his costume and his whole gimmick of the playboy dilettante who's like secretly a badass hero, but little Bruce Wayne was seeing the Mask of Zorro with his parents when they were shot and killed. So you literally can't have Batman without Zorro.
So you can also blame Zorro for the death of Batman's parents.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's going to be all for the comics. If you want, we could skim over a couple of the new editions we got this week.
Yeah, just real quick, if we just show people the trades that are new. The Hulk Smashes Everything miniseries got collected. fun all ages Hulk. It's written by Ryan North from Fantastic Four and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So that's good. And if you've got a kid who is working on their summer reading, there's actually a bunch of really fun younger reader books that we got in this week for Spider-Man, for Nightmare Before Christmas. There's even a couple of all ages friendly Superman books. So for kids that are stuck inside because it's too hot to go out, this might be a good week to grab some comics for them.
I'm starting to get those Halloween books in early too for all those Halloween fans out there.
Well, it's what, 116 days till Halloween? Who's counting? Odin's place is the place for Halloween, and I cannot wait until we get to decorate this the shop for later the season.
Oh my gosh, that's ready for Halloween. So much fun around here.
Hell yeah. So I think that's going to be all the new stuff for today. Again, if anyone has any questions or wants anything set aside, feel free to contact us. Just make sure to use your full name so we know who you are, Rudy, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Just make sure you have an hour after the video to post any comic that you want set aside. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all.
Have an awesome day. Okay.